The Hindu Book of Astrology by Bhakti, Seva. Chapter 8. Leo. All persons born from July 22nd to August 21st, inclusive, were born under the sign of Leo. Leo, the lion, is the middle of the fire triplicity. You are naturally of a jovial, sympathetic, free and friendly disposition. To the extent that you are kind-hearted, generous, and sympathetic, to that extent you are magnetic and hypnotic. Magnetic and hypnotic powers will give you force to accomplish much good and will draw to you wealth, health, and happiness. You must bend every energy to be magnetic and charming, because these qualities are yours by birth. By paying the strictest attention to what I advise in this delineation, you can swing through this world as a lovable and powerful being, and can avoid all trouble and friction. Put forth of your love freely to all mankind, and have only high aims, ever striving to be pure and high thinking. There is nothing that can harm you or retard your progress and growth if you will only hold steadfast to high principles. Learn that silence is great power, that cheerfulness, contentment, and patience will bring you much prosperity, much health, and much happiness. Never shirk a duty, and work with a high motive, and you will become invincible and can overcome with your mind and will every obstacle in your pathway. Education, culture, and refinement can do great things for you. Always remember, you were born under very fortunate planetary conditions, that many of the greatest people in the world are Leo people. You have the strength and courage of a lion, and if you are not successful or happy, it is due entirely to your neglect of cultivating and bringing out your wonderful powers. These powers and forces which make for success are always latent in every Leo person, and can only be developed by intelligent exercise of mind and the will. And that reminds me, your willpower is naturally very strong, but you can add greatly to its strength by continually and persistently holding in your mind high and strong thoughts. Any line of thinking which causes you to be morbid or blue is weakening to your willpower, and all worry and apprehension about your success will drive good things away from you. In business, love, and money matters, you must feel that you will be successful, that there is no possible chance for you to fail. And when you can get into that state of mind, your success is as certain and sure as 2 and 2 are 4. Those of the Leo sign who reach the highest attainments are always of a philosophical turn of mind. They fully realize that it is of the utmost importance for them to take the ups and downs of life without a single murmur or complaint. Learn to take the bitter with the sweet, rain with the sunshine, sorrow with joy, and never whine or grumble at seeming fate or ill luck. In other words, be grateful and thankful for the many good things in the world. By doing this, you strengthen your willpower and will easily batter down all obstacles in your way to success and happiness. In love affairs, by being mild, gentle, and kind to the being loved, you will in return not only win all of that person's love, but will also command their highest respect and admiration. All Leo people should seek an early marriage. If you are married, your chief aim or object should be to make your home bright and happy by flooding it with all the kindness and love you can command. In every move you make, be absolutely fearless and courageous, always keeping in mind that the highest rewards are only earned by indomitable will great courage, and an entire absence of doubt and fear. The cultivated and educated Leo persons possess clairvoyant and intuitive powers, which enable them to foretell and prophesy things that will happen in the future. Many great prophets, seers, sages, and wise men and women come out of the sign of Leo. Listening to music, reading good books and magazines, and observing and studying successful men and women is of untold advantage to you. You can learn anything that you will apply your mind to, and ought to be handy in mechanical matters. Your possibilities are so great when you correct and remedy your faults that I have taken special pains in this delineation to caution you against faults which will retard your progress and make you unhappy. In no way ever give way to an inclination to be tricky. Always stick to strict truth and don't borrow money, books, or anything. Be independent and self-reliant, and you will become a giant of strength and power. If you yield to laziness, indolence, impatience, anger, worry, and anxiety, you will bring on yourself misery and suffering. Always control your passion for the opposite sex. By not doing this, many a Leo person has brought on great misery and trouble. Always have high ideals and try to live a pure and high life. Let your highest nature have full sway. Whenever you are troubled or anxious, I advise you to go off in a quiet spot and all alone try to calm yourself by thinking of the bright side of life. If you can believe in prayer to the good God, offer up to Him a silent prayer for calm, peace, help, and love, and your prayer will be answered. The power of an earnest, sincere prayer for relief is wonderful. By prayer, the yogis often perform wonderful things, which to the ignorant and unbelieving seem like great miracles. As a matter of fact, we say that every force and power in the universe is natural and can be controlled and directed in natural ways for good. We know there is nothing supernatural in the universe. The great sun of this solar system governs your sign, and you can attract all of the wonderful solar fluids and currents to your aid by living the higher life. I have suggested here just what you are to do to have perfect health, amass wealth and happiness, and if you heed my teachings, you cannot fail. This sign is governed by the sun. The gems are ruby and diamond. The astral colors are red and green. The diseases which you are most likely to suffer from are weak lungs, heart troubles, fevers, back and kidney troubles, and despondency. Your best companions are those born in Sagittarius, Libra, and Aries. People born in this sign are usually wiry, but not over tall, well proportioned, round head, light or ruddy complexion, and have a strong, deep voice and large eyes. May the peace and blessings of the Blessed One and all the devas, angels, and all the yogis of the universe be ever with you, dear sister or brother of Leo. Bhakti, seva. Cusps. If your first breath was drawn when one sign was taking the place of another, you will partake of the characteristics of both signs. Hence, you belong to the cusp. The residence in a sign consists of 6 days. Any time less endows one with some of the qualities of the preceding sign. The cusp of Cancer through Leo, July 22nd to 28. In these 6 days are found the elements of fire and water. The most daring and confident, the most unscrupulous politicians were born during this period. The natural Leo laziness is much modified by the Cancer restlessness, which keeps them looking for strange sensations and new enjoyments. They are secretive or frank, whichever best suits their purpose. The men require the utmost probity of their wives. but do not care to be called to book in return. The women of this sign are intense, and if treated harshly or indifferently, will conceive a disgust for their marital companion. As mothers, they are self-denying and affectionate, and as housekeepers, they are orderly. In fact, they are liable to be too orderly for their own comfort and those around them. The people born in this cusp are gifted with phenomenal memory. There are no heights that these people cannot attain if they so determine. They can always be depended upon to stand by a friend through every description of trouble. When well reared and educated, these natives have beautiful characters, freely giving to the suffering, both from their pocket and their heart. End of chapter 8. Chapter 9. Virgo. All persons born from August 21st to September 22nd, inclusive, were born under the sign of Virgo. Virgo is the sign of the Virgin and is the middle sign of the Earth triplicity. And the people of this sign are usually cool, calm, and confident, great and grand qualities which can bring one to the highest success and happiness. In India, the yogic astrologers tell the Virgo people their faults and bad tendencies, so that they may correct them and thus reach the highest position in life, which is theirs by birth under this excellent sign. You can and must excel in everything you undertake. To think of failure is very, very foolish and weakening. Always have hope and courage, and you will draw and attract to yourself wonderful power and force. Fight with strong will and grim determination every obstacle that crosses your path, whether it be sickness, adversity, or poverty. You can win every time. You are fully adapted to a business or a professional career and will be a marked success in whatever calling you select, provided you will kill entirely all low, vulgar, and selfish tendencies. Your sign represents the hidden fire of the earth, which means you are an all-powerful, forceful being. Learn at once that order and method in your habits are absolutely essential to your happiness, success, and well-being. Order is heaven's first law. Think and observe much and order your life so that you will do everything in an orderly, methodical, and systematic way. Strive strenuously to fully develop all the good that is in you. Give much attention to your higher nature. Improve yourself morally, spiritually, and intellectually. The only force in this universe is the force of good, the force of God. A beautiful and happy life can only be attained by aspiring for good, the highest. The study of philosophy, occult science, and metaphysics will open your mind to a wealth of happiness you little dream of. Always be generous, kind, and loyal. Many excellent scholars and musicians are found in this sign, and we always urge Virgo persons of either sex to study much, read much, and give a great deal of time to hearing music. Music is very inspiring and helpful to you, and if you have any inclination to play or sing, don't hesitate in cultivating your taste in this direction. The pronounced faults of the Virgo people are: a too strong desire to rule and dominate over people, seeing the faults of others and not seeing their own weak points, false pride and false ambition, meddling with other people's business and affairs and not attending strictly to their own business, taking drugs and medicines for imaginary diseases and ailments, conceit, vanity and egotism, falsehood, misrepresentation, exaggeration, and making extravagant statements about matters and things, especially with regard to their achievements, running in debt for the sake of keeping up appearances. All of these bad qualities are likely to appear in the lower, uneducated, and uncultivated persons of this sign. And if you have any or all of these tendencies, I advise you to root them out of your being once and for all time, as they will be the millstones around your neck, which will keep you from rising to a superior position. I do not know of a higher or grander character than the highly developed Virgo person, or of a meaner and lower being when the sign lives on the low plane, in ignorance and darkness. So you see, it is of the utmost importance for you to cultivate your higher nature, which is always true and grand. With respect to health, the Virgo people are naturally healthy persons and do not need drugs or medicine. Outdoor exercise, lots of air and sunshine will keep you well, strong, and vigorous. In love, you will be successful when you learn to not be too critical or exacting. If not married, you will do well to select a life partner who is cheerful and does not look on the dark side of life. If you are married, you can make your home a very happy one by not expecting too much from your wife or husband. Your weak point is seeing faults in others, and often a married Virgo person carries his criticism into his or her married life and sees too many faults in the chosen wife or husband. Spend much time with nature, in the green fields and woods. Love animals and surround yourself with flowers and domestic pets. If you will be temperate in your eating and don't drug and dose yourself with medicines, you can live many years and retain youthful spirits and vigor up to the time you pass on to the other world. The elixir of life is yours, if you will only realize that everything in this world is all right and running in perfect order, directed and guided by the wise one who rules all. You may think you can run this universe better than it is run, but don't attempt it unless you wish to make yourself miserable and destroy your great natural powers and forces. Give yourself a frequent, careful examination, looking out for your own bad faults or tendencies, and don't waste any of your time and energy in picking out the flaws in others. In this world, the law is that we find exactly what we look for. If we look for bad, bad will come to us. If we think weakness, failure, poverty, and that sort of thing, we will certainly get our full share of weakness, failure, poverty. As a man thinks, so will he be. Poverty is very galling to Virgo people, and they can never amass money until they live on a high plane. That is to say, as long as they brood, whine, grumble, complain, and murmur over their lot, just so long they will remain poor and miserable. But, on the other hand, let the Virgo person wake up and cast out all fear and doubt, be up and doing with a cheerful spirit and a high motive. Then will he or she have success beyond their fondest hopes. You have everything to live for and can have prosperity and happiness by doing as I suggest. This sign is governed by Mercury, and the gems are pink jasper and hyacinth. The astral colors are gold and black, speckled with blue dots. The diseases which you are most likely to suffer from are stomach troubles and nervousness. Your best companions are those born in Libra, Sagittarius, and in your own sign, Virgo. People born in this sign are usually of middle stature and well formed, with noble faces. May the peace and blessing of the Blessed One and all the devas, angels, and all the yogis of the universe be ever with you, dear sister or brother of Virgo. Bhakti, seva. Cusp. If your first breath was drawn when one sign was taking the place of another, you will partake of the characteristics of both signs. Hence, you belong to the cusp. The residence in a sign constitutes 6 days. Any time less endows one with some of the qualities of the preceding sign. The cusp of Leo through Virgo August 22nd to 28th. Persons born on any of these 6 days make excellent and intelligent citizens. They partake of the strong combination of fire and earth. The earth needs the sun, and these natives apparently understand that need. Both the men and women are fond of everything that grows. They are also tremendous workers, and when educated are logical thinkers. They have a natural ability of taking the good things of the earth to themselves and enjoying them. They make excellent physicians and teachers, and their ability to conceive is remarkably pronounced. The heat of Leo is modified by the coolness and solidity of the earth, so that there is not so much temptation to take offense as prevails if the 2 signs were taken separately. They are true children of nature, and like to spend most of their time out of doors, wearing as few garments as possible. But when it is necessary to live within 4 walls, they demand the best quality of wearing apparel combined with the latest style. End of Chapter 9. Chapter 10. Libra. All persons born from September 23rd to October 22nd, inclusive, were born under the sign of Libra. This is the middle sign of the air triplicity, and persons born in it have a great variety of disposition. You are naturally persistent and competent, and can, through these qualities, win success. Your foresight and judgment are excellent, and you could become a successful merchant or businessman or woman. In studies, you can excel, and if you have an inclination to be a scholar, a writer, a lecturer, or educator, I would advise you to follow that bent of your mind. The study of philosophy or occult science would interest and benefit you much. Indeed, your success in a very great measure depends upon acquiring knowledge of what this life is for, why we are here, where we came from, and whence we go. This is a wonderful world and a wonderful universe, controlled and directed by one wonderful force. What is that? Knowing which all can be known. Your success and happiness depend upon your being energetic, ambitious, and striving to know all that can be known. In all your undertakings, you must be fearlessly bold and daring, and never worry over losses, troubles, or obstacles. The moment you stop to waste any force or energy in fear, doubt, or regrets for past actions, that moment you are in danger. Understand that you are a very fortunate person and can always win success if you feel sure you will win before making the attempt. No half-hearted or faint-hearted work will be a success in your hands. You must be enthusiastically in earnest and feel in every fiber of your being that you will succeed in whatever you attempt to do. Many daring and brilliant financiers, stockbrokers, speculators, schemers, promoters, and even gamblers come out of your sign. Gambling never brings happiness, even if success attends it, and I would caution you against this pernicious habit. There are so many good legitimate enterprises in which you could engage with success that I would urge on you to apply yourself to a good, honest calling. Men and women of this sign can make themselves very charming, fascinating, magnetic, hypnotic, and attractive by curbing their intense passions and appetites a little. Avoid being too reckless and too daring. There is a golden mean or happy medium between the two extremes of daring and boldness, and fear and timidity, which you should adopt in all of your undertakings. Libra women are more sensible and have better judgment than the men of this sign. In love affairs, exercise great care, and don't place your love through low or sensual feelings. Never borrow money, but earn all you spend. Be self-reliant and strong, and fight the world by your own strength and power, which, I can assure you, is very strong. The planetary forces and solar fluids will serve you well and good when you stand out alone and rely on your own abilities. The good that Libra people can do in the world when they are spiritually awakened is astounding. You ought to give your time to reading philosophical works, and ever hold in your mind to be a good, true, forceful man or woman. Learn to adapt yourself to all conditions of life and not to be disturbed by either adversity or prosperity. When you can be calm and tranquil, no matter what happens, that very moment you become a very powerful being and can work wonders. All the powers and forces of the universe are then yours to use. Indeed, you will be helped by unseen powers that you little dream exist. If man only knew of the countless great souls who could help him, he would have more courage than he has. What you attribute to luck is not luck, but the work of unseen intelligent powers who help those who try to help themselves. Be kind, amiable, pleasant, gentle, and generous to all mankind and all animals. The devas, angels, are always good to those who are good to the brute creation. As long as you do not worry or fret about money, you will have plenty of it, and the best plan for you to follow in amassing a fortune is not to think much about money matters, but plunge ahead in an easy, confident way in any line that is to your fancy, and you will be successful. Be kind, amiable, pleasant, gentle, and generous to all mankind and all animals. The devas, angels, are always good to those who are good to the brute creation. As long as you do not worry or fret about money, you will have plenty of it, and the best plan for you to follow in amassing a fortune is not to think much about money matters, but plunge ahead in an easy, confident way in any line that is to your fancy, and you will be successful. Always be broad-minded and liberal in your ideas. Your great fault is impatience, and you must learn to wait. When you can overcome impatience and will let your higher and better mind guide and direct your actions, you will get along better. Persons of your nature ought to dress well, live in good houses, and have all the comforts and even the luxuries of life. It hardly ever pays a Libra person to engage in hard and dirty work, because they must be neat and clean. The world always shows favors to neat, trim, and clean-looking people, and has no use for a slovenly appearing person. The married people of this sign who have children and provide good homes for their families are always very fortunate in their financial undertakings. It is very unwise for a Libra person of either sex to remain unmarried. One of the glaring faults of this sign is egotism. Strive to be modest and quiet, not vain and proud. I would like you, dear reader, to cultivate your higher and better nature all you can. I dearly love the Libra people, because they are always so fearless, daring, dashing, and bold. It is difficult for the world to love or help a timid, cowardly person, one who is weak and afraid and goes about telling tales of woe and misery. Yet the yogis love the weak and ever strive to put hope and courage into them. This sign is governed by Venus. The gems are diamond and opal. The astral colors are black, crimson, and light blue. The diseases which you are most likely to suffer from are nervous prostration and stomach troubles. Your best companions are those born in your own sign and in Aquarius. People born in this sign are usually tall and slender, well-formed, with oval faces, and have beautiful eyes. May the peace and blessing of the Blessed One and all the devas, angels, and all the yogis of the universe be ever with you, dear sister or brother of Libra. Bhakti, seva. Cusp. If your first breath was drawn when one sign was taking the place of another, you will partake of the characteristics of both signs. Hence, you belong to the cusp. The residence in a sign consists of 6 days. Any time less endows one with some of the qualities of the preceding sign. The cusp of Virgo through Libra, September 23rd to 29. There is the same fondness for out of doors of persons born during these 6 days as that which distinguishes the Leo Virgo people. The combination of Virgo and Libra forms a most charming and fascinating character, as the reserve of Virgo is broken up by the ease and enthusiasm of Libra. These people are not easily taken advantage of, and at the same time have very kind natures and are extremely unselfish. They make enthusiastic lovers and devoted marital companions. If they make an unfortunate marriage, they keep that to themselves and make the best of it, and turn their attention to business or intellectual pursuits or enjoyment. Their best and most practical friend is nature. They are great travelers, and a trip helps them forget their troubles and disappointments. They are at all times alive to the beauties of this world, and have the pleasant faculty of producing charming results in dress and household arrangements. End of Chapter 10. Chapter 11. Scorpio. All persons born from October 23rd to November 21st, inclusive, were born under the sign of Scorpio. The Scorpio people are allied to the great powers of the ocean of this planet. This is the middle sign of the water triplicity. The Scorpio people are wonderfully strong, as the planetary and solar forces which surge through them constantly give them great magnetism and vitality. In India, the land of wonders, the yogis, especially the bhakti yogis, true God lovers, fully know that any person born in this sign has great possibilities. So we earnestly urge them to realize their greatness. Many yogis and wise men and women are born in this sign, and they have set down many rules which, if followed, will lead the Scorpio person to the greatest success. The most helpful men and women come out of this sign, and the world can rejoice every time a Scorpio person is born. Oh, you blessed people, what strength and power for success and happiness you have. You are the salt of the earth. Many eloquent speakers come out of this sign, such as lecturers of note and preachers of prominence. Also, some of our best writers are Scorpio people. When not ignorant, but educated, these people can turn their minds and hands to any line of work with success. Therefore, it is very important that you read a great deal and acquire all the knowledge you can. It is important that you always maintain a quiet, modest, and dignified bearing. It is well for you to be fond of the good things of the world, dress well, and have a comfortable home. In money matters, you can amass wealth by steady and persistent endeavor in one line. Always be provident and saving, and put by money for future needs or investments. But don't be stingy, mean, or penurious. You can be careful with money and yet spend considerable sums in improving your surroundings, in improving your mind. Much of your leisure time should be given to outdoor exercise, as your health and vigor depends upon lots of pure fresh air and sunshine. Traveling on water, such as an ocean or lake trip, is very beneficial to you, and if you are fond of boating, give much of your leisure time to it. Strolling along a river bank or on the shores of a lake or ocean will do you much good. Don't get money mad, or let money getting be your only aim, as being too deeply engrossed in the acquiring of riches, often with Scorpio people, defeats the very end sought. Sometimes a person of this sign will get money mad and break down their health and destroy the vigor and vitality necessary to everyone who amasses money. Don't worry, don't hurry, take it easy. I mean, work steadily at something which you like, and give more thought to doing your work honestly and thoroughly, and in the best possible manner, than to what money it will bring you. Learn to work and be busy with the idea of the good your work will do, rather than with the thought of how much money you can get out of it. In love affairs, you will be successful from the very moment that you can fully control any feelings of anger, jealousy, envy, or hatred. Indeed, the worst fault of this sign, and the fault which retards progress and success, is a tendency that you are likely to have to get angry and disturbed if things don't go just as you think they ought to go. For this cause, some Scorpio people are not successful in love and business. Be kind, gentle, amiable, and polite to all, and all will love you, and your success is assured. By following this advice, you will become magnetic, hypnotic, fascinating, charming, and draw and attract to yourself the love of everyone. People will admire you and want to associate with you and do business with you. This means success. If you are not married, I would advise you to look about and select a good life partner, as marriage will bring you great success and happiness. This advice applies equally to both sexes. And while speaking of marriage, let me say, the Hindu yogis positively know that the man or woman who gets married, no matter what sign they are born in, makes a move which can bring more prosperity and happiness than anything else. We always advocate marriage and the rearing and raising of children. It is the divine command. God intended all of His children to marry and raise children. Countless men and women make life a failure and are very miserable and unhappy because they have disobeyed God's command about marriage. If you are of a nagging or jealous nature, don't think of marriage until you are thoroughly cured of this mean, low, and bad habit. There is nothing meaner or lower in our natures than jealousy and its twin brother, envy. A jealous or envious person will never be happy, is never loved, always drives people away. Now, I want you to overcome all bad tendencies and become a good and true being, and then you can be anything you choose to be. Give some thought to God, your Father, and understand that in all history, there never correction. Give some thought to God, your Father, and understand that in all history, there never was a grand or noble character who did not love God, the good. When you love God, you will not be suspicious or want to scold or find fault with people whom you associate with. The best way to love God is to love all human beings and all animals, and be kind, gentle, and considerate of others. Associate all you can with men and women of success, and carefully study and observe how they order their lives. Read the lives of great and good men and women who have achieved success. Around you all the time are great forces and powers which can help you if you will only heed what I say here. My only interest is the deep love I have for all, and my desire to see you get the full benefit of the extraordinarily good planetary and solar conditions under which you were born. This sign is governed by Mars, and the gems are topaz and malachite. The astral colors are golden brown and black. The diseases which you are most likely to suffer from are heart troubles, weakness of the back, lumbago, and gout. Your best companions are those born in Pisces, Libra, and Virgo. People born in this sign are inclined to corpulency in middle life, have dusky complexions, broad, square faces, and dark hair. May the peace and blessings of the Blessed One, and all the devas, angels, and all the yogis of the universe be ever with you, dear sister or brother of Scorpio. Bhakti, seva. Cusps. If your first breath was drawn when one sign was taking the place of another, you will partake of the characteristics of both signs. Hence, you belong to the cusp. The residence in a sign consists of 6 days. Any time less endows one with some of the qualities of the preceding sign. The cusp of Libra through Scorpio, October 23rd to 29. Persons born on any one of these 6 days have a remarkable creative genius. They are great originators and can carry their ideas to successful conclusion. The women are excellent cooks and housekeepers, and are usually successful in anything they undertake. The combination of the Libra Scorpio makes a pleasing and unconventional character. The natural Libra fear and hesitation sometimes communicate their influence to this cusp and makes the person stop in a crisis. But when the time actually arrives for the deed to be done, the forces from Scorpio unite with those of Libra, and success is generally accomplished. They are sometimes very jealous and untruthful. Their appearance is usually immaculate, and they have a faculty of getting out of most any scrape that they become involved in. End of chapter 11. Chapter 12. Sagittarius. All persons born from November 22nd to December 20th, inclusive, were born under the sign of Sagittarius. This is the last sign of the fire triplicity, as this is the sign of earnestness, honesty, and frankness. I want to impress you with the fact that the Hindu yogis give their whole lives to doing good, that all that I write here is for your good. I want you to be successful and happy. The text of all our sermons and writings is health, wealth, and happiness. We try to love the world the same as God does. Naturally, you are born for grand achievement. The only things that can retard your progress or be obstacles to your being successful would be tendencies of doubt, fear, morbidness, impatience, dishonesty, a lack of combativeness, a lack of hope and cheerfulness, and a lack of generosity. You must study your weak points carefully and try to break yourself of the tendency to quickly get angered or mad with those who do not agree with you. Put your whole force and energy in whatever you undertake, and know that you can succeed. You can generally accomplish what you undertake by having the fullest faith and greatest confidence in your ability to succeed. It is absolutely necessary for people of your sign, of either sex, to have unbounded faith, hope, and confidence. If you are fearful of success and have any doubts about succeeding in any undertaking you may have in mind, it would be wise for you to abandon it, as the chances are you will not meet with success. Work is essential to your happiness. All people of this sign who are idle, are not continually actively engaged in some pursuit, are apt to be very miserable. Rely entirely upon your own opinions, and don't permit or allow anyone to switch you off or change your mind, as your own judgment about what to do and what not to do is far more valuable than that of friends or acquaintances. People of this sign, both men and women, are adapted to business and are successful when they apply themselves to one line. Concentrate all of your energy and powers on whatever you have in hand, and do not take up a new undertaking until you carry the present one to a successful end. You will be very powerful and forceful to the extent that you combat and overcome obstacles, especially your faults. You are one who does not need to be told much about your faults, as you know them yourself. Therefore, I will not say much about them, but leave you to determine your weak points, and only urge you to fight with persistency to down every low and bad tendency you may have. Your great success and happiness will depend upon how you bring out the good and high qualities which you naturally possess. When these are strong and dominant, your lower nature, you will be a very charming and fascinating person. Then, in love, business, social achievements, or culture, you will be successful. People will then marvel at your wonderful magnetic and hypnotic powers, which will make you all powerful in influencing men and women, in attracting and drawing to you people who can be of service to you. Be ever active in your own affairs, and waste no time or energy in meddling with the affairs of others. People of this sign do many of the great things in the world, and when educated, well read, well informed, and cultivated, invariably achieve distinction and amass great fortunes. It is well for you in your relations with men and women to be frank and open, and always bright, cheerful, and jovial. If there is anything that people dislike, it is a blue, grumbling, whining man or woman, who with sorrowful or sad countenance always has a tale of woe to tell. People who succeed are those who are ever hopeful and cheerful, and who are always up and doing, making things happen. And this is just what you must fix in your mind. I will make things happen. I will succeed. I will be happy and joyful. I will see only the good and bright things of this world. What this world needs is more cheerful workers, more enterprising men and women, more progressive beings, more courageous and combative people. If not married, I would advise you to seriously consider the question. Read what I say about marriage in the closing chapter of this book. Neatness, order, attention to details, providently laying aside money for emergencies belong to your sign in a marked degree, and are what makes so many of the Sagittarius people so wonderfully successful. They generally understand the following words of wisdom uttered by a wise and good man. The way to wealth is as plain as the way to market. It depends on two words, industry and frugality. That is, waste neither time nor money, but make the best use of both. If you would be wealthy, think of saving as well as getting. Poverty is a curse and must be abolished. The yogis of India, in a quiet and subtle way, in all of their sermons, lectures, and writings, inject suggestions against poverty. We pray constantly that the minds of men may grasp the true and high way of acquiring money and using it wisely. We claim no great fortunes were ever amassed dishonestly, that to acquire enormous wealth one must be honest and wise, know how to use it wisely after getting it. Fully developed, cultured, refined, and educated, the Sagittarius people are very intuitive, their minds constantly running ahead and quite accurately foretelling coming events. They become bright and brilliant conversationalists, and, all in all, a much-loved people. Lots of reading, good-spirited music, outdoor sports, dancing in association with learned and brilliant people is of advantage to you. This sign is governed by Jupiter, and the gems are carbuncle, diamond, and turquoise. The astral colors are gold, red, and green. The diseases which you are most likely to suffer from are rheumatism and stomach troubles. Your best companions are those born in Aries, Aquarius, Libra, Virgo, and in your own sign. People born in this sign have very expressive eyes and are active and graceful, being swift in their movements. May the peace and blessings of the Blessed One and all the devas, angels, and all the yogis of the universe be ever with you, dear sister or brother of Sagittarius. Bhakti, seva. Cusp. If your first breath was drawn when one sign was taking the place of another, you will partake of the characteristics of both signs. Hence, you belong to the cusp. The residence in a sign consists of 6 days. Any time less endows one with some of the qualities of the preceding sign. The cusp of Scorpio through Sagittarius, November 22nd through 28th. Persons born on any of these 6 days are agreeable in speech and graceful in manner, and are remarkable imitators. The conscience of Sagittarius has a hard struggle at times with the easy moral principles of Scorpio, but Sagittarius usually conquers. If a native of this cusp takes up an impure or dissipated life, their descent is more rapid. They make the best soldiers, surgeons, and lawyers, as they are devoid of all fear. The woman is law in her own household and severely deals with any disobedience. These persons require praise and consideration for their good deeds, and if it is not given, it has a marked effect on their happiness. The people of this cusp are remarkably brilliant and capable of great learning, but they lack patience and frequently fret themselves into the grave. Sometimes the forces from these two signs produce a more pronounced and disagreeable pessimist. As a rule, however, the people of these signs are agreeable. End of Chapter 12.